On the left, you see companies I worked. So I left that firm. I created my own startup. Startups, yes, let's do it. In fintech, it was an exciting experience. After 5 years, we split, as almost every startup there. Didn't succeed. Then I went to work for Railsbank company, and last year I was doing presentation about that. And this summer I started working at Revolut, which this will focus on. On the right side, you see my hobbies or my part-time activities, after-work activities. You already heard that this Agile Lithuania association that's really going on, and it's really cool that even me leaving the country and leaving it for all the rest people to manage is still going on. So amazing guys, you're doing an amazing job. And Agile coach, the guys that's sitting there also, we collected, I believe, most experienced guys, and we're helping to consult other companies to run trainings from big banks to smaller companies. So really happy it's also growing. And these logotypes is just companies I visited and kind of looked at. But the point I'm showing it because I had a chance, and I'm very happy about that, to compare issues, challenges, successes from very different organizations, from government organizations to banks to small IT organizations to non-IT organizations, which it's very interesting because it kind of proved to me that all these ideas of agility actually can be implemented in almost any situation. Because for me, agility is incremental delivery of business value. I know we talk a lot about, how we run things, how we do retrospectives, developers have sticky notes or whatever, but at the end I ask, what business value did you deliver last 2 weeks? In other words, how much money your customers paid to you, thank you, this is not monetizable, for the thing you did in the last 2 weeks, for example, right? All the rest is the way to get there, but all is about business value. And that's very hard because Agile came from IT communities, so very often get stuck to these, how we organize scrums, how we do effectively, do code reviews or whatever. But I kind of think I lived over that. The only measurement I take is, does the result actually bring value for end user and customer, the one that pays for you? And I'm very happy that in Revolut, actually, as you will see, we're actually focusing on that a lot. So fast forward, 2019, this summer, as I mentioned, I'm still in UK and joining a new company. And the reason I joined is, as I told on the intro, one of the reasons, I'll tell second later, is that it's organized in the way that I don't need to make transformation anymore. It's the way I was teaching all those companies 10 years to do it. So, I just need now to work on, make sure it scales. So let's talk about it. Before that, who knows what is Revolut? Oh, quite a few. How many of you use Revolut? Yeah, that's what I like to see. Great. So it's an amazing product, right? Because you all use it. It's a card, a bank account. You can send, receive money. You have a card that works everywhere. Push notifications. Do you know that you can trade stocks? You can buy cryptocurrency. And all that happened in 4 years. Revolut is now a 4-year-old company, which is amazing. Anyone can guess how many customers we have in general? How much? 4 more. 8? Bit less? 5? We have nice gifts when we want to celebrate. It's 7 million. So when we compare ourselves, for example, in Lithuania, SEB or SVED, Baltics even, not Lithuania, there's a bit less people in all Baltics than that, right? So we have quite a global organization, global institution already, disrupting banking. Also, we have a business product, which means that if you're a business, you want to open an account, or if you're a freelancer and you want to have a business account, we also allow you to do that. Anyone uses business account of Revolut, Revolut for Business? Oh, yeah. People don't even know that it exists, right? It's actually a 2-year-old product. We launched it in 2017, and that's what I'm responsible for. So now I'm responsible for Revolut for Business. So basically, if you're a business or freelancer and want an account, you go for Revolut for Business. So how many business customers, businesses, do you think we have in 2 years? 100 businesses. Come on. 100,000. A bit more, or quite a bit more. 500,000. Yeah, that would be good. We are going there. Okay, let's see what it says. 200,000 businesses applied for Revolut for Business. And 1,500 applies every single day. And we want to double that in the next half a year. So it's quite a challenge bank already. So that's what I'm responsible for and what we're building. We started in the UK, we are now European. Very quickly we were European, so most of our customers now are from different European Union countries. And now we're launching Australia, Singapore, Japan, United States, and Canada as a first wave, and the second wave is waiting. You probably saw, if you look at yesterday and the day before, there was press releases about that. And on team size, today we're about 1,500 people, 1,500 people. End of last year, December, we were 700. So we grew twice in 9 months. In September alone, we hired 200 plus people. And by the end of next year, we are going to be 5,000. So you could imagine the growth, and you could imagine the issues we are facing. And we are still building and launching products, new products to market so quickly. So how we do that? Oh, before revenue. Everyone tells me, does Revolut make any revenue? What do you think? So this is a Financial Times report. It's comparison by them to our competitors. I don't know what the Financial Times wanted to say, because for me that middle bit seems a bit like a finger, but maybe not. 58 million in 2018, which was 3 times growth from 2017, and we are far ahead, and this year will be even more. So it's actually, we are making a business, we are proper business, we're growing. That's why investors put money, and that's why we scale so quickly. So what this actually talk about? 2 weeks ago, I put a post on LinkedIn, or not, 2 weeks after my starting at Revolut, which I said that what I like here is autonomy, purpose, and then very long hashtag. Never use such long hashtags, but I didn't find a way to shorten it. Do not believe all you hear on media. I could put fake news, but I thought Donald Trump already stole this, so I want something for myself, okay? So this talk, I would like to kind of focus on first 2 things. Now, autonomy. Everyone talks about autonomy, right? Do you want to be autonomous, or do you want to be managed by some manager? Oh, one wants to be. Who wants to be autonomous so you can get stuff done yourself? Can you raise hands? Quite a few. All the rest like to be managed, like to be told what to do, right? Okay, it's also a way. I mean, in Agile, we say that if we leave autonomy, if we leave people to do that the stuff themselves, they will get the best results. And actually, that's how we organize in Revolut. But we talk about, in Agile, we use this word self-organization, self-organizing teams. So how you make self-organization not a house. I've seen so many companies talking, oh, we are self-organized, we want to we let guys do everything, and then when you go there, it's actually a house. I mean, it's just, we don't have a process, so let's call it Agile. How we organize and what you need to actually be autonomous. First thing, you need to have goals. You can do them in KPIs, you can do in OKRs, I don't care what, but you have to have a measurable goal you are going to achieve. Revolut is very obsessed about KPIs. And if you talk to people that are out there, they will tell you, it's good and bad, I will share a bit. But we know, for example, business department has 2 goals. And with Nick Storonsky, I talk every week about 2 goals. How many new businesses we are onboarding every day? Our goal is growth, we want to accelerate that. And what is our net promoter score? How our customers recommend our product to people, quality metric, right? That's it. 2 goals, not 15, not 10, and I have those in numbers as department. Then we have teams, as you would guess, 80 people is not one big department. We split the teams. I'll tell how we organize. Every team thinks what is our team goal for the next half a year that is aligned to this department goal, and they have it a number. And every week we meet, when I have one-on-ones with product owners, I talk to them how you're getting to your goal. So the question for you is, do you know in number your goal that your team, not a company, but your team is going to achieve in next half a year? Who could raise the hand and say, I know the number? Few in the back, few here, great. All the rest, I know it's hard, it's kind of part of the management job to get it done, right? But if you don't know the goal, any road is as good as bad. And we have lots of discussions about that, how to kind of organize them, do we understand the goal in the same way, and all that stuff. What could be on the bad side? Teams can sub-optimize. And we had examples when team looked at its own goal and wants to achieve its own goal. I use this metaphor for them. If I'm a basketball player, we love basketball here, right? So I'm trying to use lots of basketball metaphors in my job in United Kingdom. It does not always work, but what we're getting there. So if you're a basketball player, you might have a goal. I need to run every day 1 hour to be fit. Decent goal? Should every basketball player have that? Sure, you train, you run every day, 1 hour, that keeps you fit, right? Because basketball is a tough game. But a game is in 2 days, and your coach comes and says, look, we need to train this new way of kind of attacking or defending. No. My goal, my team goal is to run 1 hour a day. That's it, I'm running. Or should you say, this day I might not run, I want to think and kind of to work towards team goal to actually win the game, which is essential goal of the team. You would say obvious, of course, right? You go to work on defense or offense, whatever is needed. In teams, it's not always. In teams says, no, this is my goal, this is our KPI, even our performance is based on that, so I'll go for that. So what I do, as I started doing now as a manager or head of department, I get those teams in the room and try to explain whatever is your team goal, department goal is the goal, and we sometimes need to discuss and still always try to achieve department goal. So a real example from Revolut, we had a bottleneck of agents, those that check all applications on the back office when you apply online. And we had just not enough people there. We didn't manage to hire them quickly. So the backlog started growing, onboarding time slows down. And their goal is a length of the queue, how many open applications they have. Their goal is to keep it short. And they say, oh, this is our goal. And no, we said, I get product team, support team, these agents together and said, our goal is to make sure that we onboard as many new businesses as they can, how we can get there. Forget about your queue goal. It might help, it might not. Let's think what we want to change for that. And we changed the product a bit, we changed the processes that agents use a bit, and ta-da, in a week, we improved our throughput. Just by getting people back to understand that the department goal is more important than your team goal. So goals are important, but be aware, there's lots of issues there, as everywhere. Second bit, what else do you need to be autonomous? You have a goal, you kind of need a leader, right? You need someone to lead the team, to be that inspirational leader that gets you to that goal. In startup, of course, CEO, founders are those guys, but how to scale it when you have 1,500 people, or when I have 80 people in my department? So we use that concept of product owner, but it's not Scrum product owner, it's way more. We call them little CEOs. So we say you are CEO of this subproduct, this area, and you have full ownership of that as CEO would. It means not only Scrum product ownership roles like understand the vision, make backlog, do experiments, whatever. You're responsible for hiring the team if it's a new team or you need extra people. You're responsible for managing those people. You are direct manager of them. You're responsible aligning everything with all other departments. It's your ultimate responsibility. If anything goes wrong there or any misses, it's you as product owner, in our case, this little CEO responsible. So for example, once we release new pricing plans, product owner had to think that that might increase support, which means people will start asking more questions. Why this pricing plan, how it changed? So he needed to work with support organization to make sure that upfront we ramp up number of agents, support agents sitting and answering those questions. It's not support organization needs to think about that. It's a CEO, a product owner in our case, thinks about that. I love it. I think that's amazing because we have a very ultimate responsibility. There's all resources, time, people needed. When I say hiring, it does not mean that you go and hire everyone. It means you work with recruiters and everyone to hire. So it's not you do it, you're responsible for it. That's two different reasons, right? You have to get it done, but not do it yourself, right? So again, what issues we might face here? Sometimes they become a bit more that I know everything. I decided, I go, and then I ask, did you talk to your team about this? Did you discuss with them? What do they think about it, right? And so I have to challenge them to be involved with the team as much as we can. Okay? So we basically have these little teams of teams, little startups within bigger startup. So how does the team look like? We have a goal, we have a leader, and then the leader says what type of skills, people, resources, the tools I need for that. So he hires those people. It has to be cross-functional by design. The very default team is a product owner, designer, to backend, to frontend, Android and iOS, because business product is on web and on mobile. Retail product is only mobile, so they have only backend developers and mobile developers and designer. Then we look at the team. Sometimes you need marketing managers, sometimes you need partnerships persons, some you need operations managers, so whatever skills you will need to get your product out to the market and communicate about that. You'll hear, you can meet few product owners here, you can discuss with them how does it work, but as I said, product owner is responsible for everything, from not only building the product, but sending marketing emails if needed, communicating with internally, externally, working with all departments to make sure your product is not only built, it's used, and people know about it. Issues with creating cross-functional teams. If you really optimize yourself on the business, so our goal is deliver my product time to market as quickly as possible, we might, or what we have issues now, so for example, front-end developers forget to talk with other team front-end developers. And then quality issues arise, right? So yes, if you optimize for time to market for business, you need not to forget that then horizontal, in our case, skills needs to be shared, we need to have guilds and organize all that. It's much harder to do that if you are in a functional organization. If you have a front-end department run by front-end department manager, then they will care of quality of front-end, right? Web. Now we are facing that. So, but I still believe organizing yourselves in cross-functional team around to achieve the goal, it's amazing. So just in summary about autonomy, I already talked about these basically three things. What I love is that we are lots of little startups organized in one big startup with clear goals, with clear ownership, and whatever cross-functional resources time people we need to get there. As I said, we have to be aware of sub-optimization, so we don't sub-optimize. We have to be aware that the CEOs does not become very important people and the important people. They need to involve all that included. And then the last bit, we also need to make sure we deliver. We always about the result. How we do that? We have it every 2 weeks, a public demo where Nick Storonsky, Vlad Yastenko joins, he's co-founder and founder, and every team has to present a result, what they delivered in 2 weeks. They cannot talk about how busy we were solving these issues, which was very hard. We don't care, we know it's hard. If it's not hard, we're doing something wrong. Building new products is hard, but that's fun. Question is, what did you deliver? Show us features or stuff that you implemented, results, how this brings value. What percentage of customers using the stuff that you just implemented after 5 weeks or 5 days or whatever. So we have a public demo. And then you suborganize for that how you want, right? But we have a boundary where publicly you need to show as a team. Does it make sense so far? Sounds interesting or like exciting or it's impossible? Exciting, good. Yeah, I'm very excited. I still discuss, is it a honeymoon that it's like just a few months in the company? Actually, it's so good, so I'm on that discussion now. Yeah, for me, it's very exciting. Let's talk about our second bit then, purpose. Of course, I don't do anything if I don't understand why I'm doing it and what's the goal, and I have to believe it. I run all these Agile communities because I just believe it. I mean, this is how I work, and I don't find any other way. Yeah, you know, to the extent that some of you know that renovating apartment and planning our wedding with wife was also in an Agile way with a Scrum board. So yeah, that's another topic. So what's the purpose here? What's the purpose of Revolut to disrupt banking. Yeah, we put that disrupt banking together is in a sense that we are challenging them, but we understand that we're solving a real problem. I saw so many hands, and you wouldn't use Revolut just because, I don't know, Nick told it or something. You probably use it because you find a value in it, right? So I was bought with Revolut when I got push notifications, early days, right? It's great. For the business product, I also have even a personal reason that I love it. This is a poster in London when I was working in Revolut, and it was 2017. Our investment was in euros. We got money from MasterCard in euros, and we are running big marketing campaigns in United Kingdom, which means we need to transfer lots of pounds. And then at that point, 2017, Revolut for Business was born, and I was sitting in, at that time, this Barclays community area, and Andrews was there and said, onboard us first. And he did, and we're very, very, very early customers of Revolut for Business, and we made those big transfers, conversion money from euros to pounds. And with a single transaction, I saved more than 200 pounds with single transaction. And for startup, this is amazing, So you understand that the product is not easy to use, but it actually solves your problem. It saves lots of money. So I have a personal reason why I love Revolut for Business. It helped me. So then 2 years forward, when we started VAIDAS, can you run it now? And now thousands of businesses on board every day. I'm, of course, have a passion for that. I believe that this segment, SMEs, small, medium businesses, are underserved. If you are running a startup, if you want to start your own business, if you go to open a bank account, I mean, if you're not doing loan, if you're not opening a coffee shop where you need a loan and you will pay interest to the bank, you are a 10-people company doing maybe a few million revenue, I mean, you're not very interesting for that bank for a good reason. Their cost centers to serve you is much bigger than they get money from you. So we believe we are serving a very big niche for SMEs to actually have their banking in a very simple way, cheaper way, and that works. That's kind of our purpose. We see that we're helping communities and countries to grow. From product perspective, we already have a great product. It serves great things, but we're adding 3 things that we think are very important. Next year, we're launching acquiring, which means as a business, you'll be able to put a little script on your website and get any card transactions from anywhere in the world, competing with Stripe, if anyone knows that area. We'll have machines that you can use in your shop, so you can get card transactions in your shop, which is competing either with big banks or Zettel, Square, the ones you mentioned. And we will have Pay with Revolut button, so you can, any shop Pay with Revolut button, you're done, right? It's free for you, for retailer, money moves free because within, so that's a big thing we believe to do. The more interesting line is second one, because I advised maybe let's build 4 new teams in Lithuania and Vilnius here to build these new products. So we want to close the gap. We want to add that banking is not just a bank where you store your money and make transactions. We want to build that you can issue invoices, get your invoices automatically to your Revolut for Business, create payment automatically created. When you calculate your payroll, it's easily integrated and you can pay out through Revolut for Business and then do all your cash flow management. I'm not going to details of those products. The point is we are hiring 36 people here to launch these 4 teams, to launch these 4 new products from scratch here in Lithuania. I was warned by my recruiters that they tried in Lithuania and there is not so much good talent here. It took them a long time to hire and they didn't get good people. And I said, maybe using that global approach when you just put an ad and think people will join you, it's not the best. So I'm trying to run this as an experiment. I have 3 months to prove it if we can get amazing team and start working on these. We already have few first product owners. We're already looking for designers for back and front end. We have few people in. So I believe we can do it here in Vilnius and build amazing part. Again, if you're interested, talk to people out there. And of course, we want to launch business lending later, not getting into details there. So what to watch for when you're thinking about the purpose, what problem we are solving? I said that we are trying to serve the SMEs, right? Small, medium businesses from freelancer to 50 employees company doing 5 million revenue. But for the actions, not always we're doing that. For example, I don't know if you know, we launched an expense management product. So if I have a company card, I don't need Expensify, Receive Bank, anything else now. I, on the Revolut for Business app, take the photo of the receipt. It automatically goes for Revolut for Business. Someone approves it, automatically goes to your accounting system. So you don't need extra services in that. And because we want to eat our own food, we went to our kind of financial department and said, Revolut people will use it, so we get feedback from you. But Revolut is 1,500 people, 1,500 people organization. Our target and purpose is to serve SMEs. So, you know, you have to be very, whatever our finance team and our people say might not necessarily what we should do. Because if we actually listen to them, probably we will make our product way more complicated for all smaller businesses because they don't need that complexity, right? So you have to be very cautious listening to what's your purpose and what's your actions. The same as if you look at the goals. If we set our goal is growth, right? So we need to remember that our goal is growth. It means we need to serve smaller businesses. Do we really do that, right? What if a business is a 5-level org structure because there's a holder of the holder of the holder, you know, companies are organized in a hierarchical manner. Maybe these are not the ones we want to serve, so then we have to align and make sure that we might even say no to some customers because they are not our target customers. And last but not least, as always in a startup, we have 100 ideas how we can focus and make sure that all department in our case is optimized for those goals and purpose that we're serving, right? There's always tendency to schedule. Just last week's example, with our lead, other product owner, we're trying to think how to change the team structure for the next performance cycle to actually be aligned. And he came with 5-team structure, and each team has kind of 2 developers. It's like, so why we need 5 teams when there's 10 people actually building stuff? Let's maybe start with 3 teams. They have a bit wider responsibility, and then we scale, right? So there's this tendency that, oh, we have more teams, so we'll do more. No, we have less teams, we focus, and then we'll do more. And we change, discuss, and it's going. So always think so you're not trying to go too wide. So that's part of the purpose. I believe what we're doing, I'm in fintech, I love fintech, financial technology. I believe that financial technology is the same changing now as Uber changed transport, Airbnb changed the hotels industry. They did not kill hotels or taxi. Hotels and taxis still exist. There is huge niche which can be used. So the same as Revolut. We're not going to kill the banks, we're going to disrupt them, in a sense that there is a big niche that people are not using banking services or financial services just because big guys do not serve them well. So I believe in that purpose, and that's what drives us all as a Revolut every day. So last bit, do not believe all you hear in media or fake news. Who heard not the best feedback about Revolut? Come on, be honest. Of course you heard. There's articles, there's screenshots, there is everything on. Even in Lithuania, the Tuesday, when we said that we're migrating Lithuanian customers to Lithuanian entity, anyone read that article in Lithuanian news? Did you saw it? What are the headlines? From now, our tax authority will be able to track you, because till now, lots of people were using Revolut just to hide their taxes. It's kind of nonsense. I mean, our tax authorities can ask UK regulator, which regulates for all the data, and they will get it, because that's the agreement. All financial institutions are regulated, and they share the data. They just need to ask. But the perception is, you know, you create that. So it's both for product perspective and from company perspective. You heard some, I would say, rumors. So actually, it's an amazing company to work for. We just reviewed our values. We always had them. Oh yeah, my laptop is there. I wanted to say that on my laptop. So we have 4 things that we live about. We say we want to get it done. Can you see? No, yeah, you cannot see. FCA, of course, does not allow us to use the SH. I don't know, they don't like SH letters for some reason. Bank of Lithuania probably also. FCA is a regulator in United Kingdom, the same as Bank of Lithuania, a regulator here in Lithuania. So we have a value, get it done. What it means, we all focus on results. No politics, no whatever. Every 2 weeks, what did you do? What are results? What the outcome, right? That's what we're focused on. And yes, some people don't like it. Some people want to be a bit more slow and kind of political environment, get agreements between teams. We care about results. All my talks with Nick is 3 questions. How are you doing with your KPIs? How are you doing with your hiring? Any help you need? Very quick, half an hour catch up with CEO and founder. Great. Second one is stronger together. We understand that we want, of course, as a normal company, create an organization where people help each other. Even if you have these really little CEOs and little startups, how we can work together within the team and among the teams, so we help each other, we value diversity, we value that people are different and they can voice the ideas, right? So we want to be together. It's not one Nick is doing the Revolut, it's now 1,500 people doing disrupting banking. Third one is think deeper, and we go to some, which means basically we want to think and solve unsolvable problems. Launching a global financial institution is quite hard task, but if you go to day-to-day job, it even means I need to get everything by data. Even for VPs, we ask, do you know SQL? Why? Because we have all reporting database where all information from different sources, databases come, and I write my own SQL queries to get any information I need to make my decisions. Some say, oh, why would I use SQL? That's a very technical thing. I ask, do you use Excel? I kind of feel learning formulas in Excel is nothing more harder than learning basics of SQL. We don't need to do right-left joins to be too complicated, but just basic stuff you can learn. Because we are so think deeper, data-driven, make decisions based on data, which, again, we love that. And last but not least, never settle. We will never stop. We always will improve because, of course, if you are in today's world, someone will catch up to you, right? So you always need to be 3 steps ahead of the market or ahead of the competition. I just told that I was bought by Revolut because push notification, because it's so secure, I know when transaction happens. Kind of now every bank has it, right? Is there a bank that does not have push notifications still? Okay, I'm sure you don't want to tell the name right now. But okay, then we launched trading. And now, once we launched trading in Poland, one of the most innovative Polish banks decreased the pricing of trading by half, because on Revolut is £1 or free if you have a metal account, right? So we're disrupting further, and there will be more and more kind of things coming up. So we are always never stopping and going for more. So that's why in 4 years we can achieve that. That's why it's so big push. But if you really care about these values, I think we can build a very nice and sustainable organization. And in Vilnius, I just mentioned, we're building these 4 totally new products. So of course we're building all that culture here, and we already have bank people working here. So really just working on that. We have amazing offices. When I put that post, which you just saw on LinkedIn, one comment was, oh, I see how you're crammed together. There is no place to sit, like always in Revolut. It's like, what? I know 4 years ago or 3 years ago when they were in level 39, there was a point where there was 40 people in the company and 30 desks. I mean, it's a startup. I mean, yeah, there was time, but now it's lots of space. It's pictures from Krakow office, our biggest support office. It's amazing as you would think. In Vilnius, we will be in Quadroom, the new building that was built. This is a nice area we'll have an access to. So, I mean, again, good place to be around all the banks, right, and having our own office from December this year. People are amazing, few photos from who we are, not to talk a lot, working together with support team, having our own meetings, having fun, as you would think, having town halls, normal, proper organization to strive in. And today, you can meet few of us here. We want to show who we are, because we want to tell a message that, yes, Lithuania is not only customer base, now we want to build not only the bank and banking people, but also development organization. So this is me, you know, Domenico, our PO for business products that was here from very early days. So if you talk about product ownership and ask if I told the truth, you know, I might be lying here from stage or whatever. So ask Domenico, we'll tell you the truth. Few backend developers that now are sitting in Vilnius, Donatas and Pavel, you can talk to them. Team from England, from United Kingdom also, like Domenico, to talk to. And we have one PO. He asked me to take the photo out because he didn't tell his team yet that he is joining us. So if you find someone who knows about Revolut, but he's not yet known, so that's him. So. Then That's my kind of all. Just to watch out for media. Don't believe in media. If someone comes and says it's bad to work at Revolut, we don't hire you, just because you're not data-driven. You did not look for facts. You just believe what you hear around. So look for facts. Thanks. That's it. And just I invite you to grab free cards. We have Revolut free cards, and talk to us there and stand more or we probably have a few minutes for questions.
VAIDAS, please have in mind that you have 27 questions recorded.
That's the question. Was the presentation so good or so bad that you didn't get anything, or it was so interesting so you would want to ask more? I hope it's a second point, right? How do you manage yourself organizing development team? Okay, can someone translate that? How you manage yourself? You mean myself? How we manage self-organizing teams. So we have KPIs department, that's the question, right? We have team, each has its own KPI. So the way I manage is I have one-on-ones with product owners, with all, now we have about 11, and we're growing to be 20 product owners, those little CEOs. So every kind of one-on-one or catch-up we have, we ask, how's your team doing on KPIs? How are you doing on hiring? Because almost all of them are expanding. And what issues do you have? How I can help? So it's everything aligned with the very number-driven. For example, onboarding team has a goal to increase onboarding ratio from 32 to 38%. How are you there? What activities you're doing? So everything through KPIs and working with product owners, are we aligned? Next. No? Where is those 27? It's coming.
How to restore engine compression without rebuilding it? That's really a question, guys?
What was the question? Oh, sorry.
Why did Revolut stop expanding from employees' perspective in Lithuania?
So it didn't. Now we do that. So there's lots of reasons. Now we're looking for 40 people only in the product department. There's bank people looked. So if you go to our career site, you will see, I think, about 80 positions open today in Vilnius. So go for it. Did not stop. Next. How to restore engine compression without rebuilding it? I'm not sure that's for me. I don't know. Next. How PO, CEO handling all positions at once? Do they able to cover all responsibilities? I was founder of the company and CEO. We were small, startup, 7, 8 people, some supporters. I mean, I was for 5 years there. I survived. It's tough. I mean, and again, you are not doing everything. As CEO, you're responsible for things. You're finding team people and delegating that responsibility to get it done. So the point is, there is no question, you cannot be a doer. You have to be a manager, delegating stuff and finding a ways to get it done. That's the way to do it. If you start doing everything yourself, you're not going to do it. Then you're kind of CEO. So the point is to delegate it to the team and have skills you need.
All right, due to time constraints, we have to stop the Q&A session here, but VAIDAS is around all day, so please make sure that you have the chance to chat with him. And this year we have something new. Which was your favorite question from the audience?
Which was my favorite question?
Yes.
You should have told it before. About managing the self-organizing teams, probably the first one.
All right, who asked this question? I have a little present for you. Come over and claim it.
Ooh.
See, asking questions pays off. Thank you, VAIDAS, for a wonderful presentation. And here's a little gift from us.
Thank you very much. See you around.